What's up everyone, it is Dominic here for Obligatory, bringing you an overview and pointing out some of the highlights of this week of new releases for the week ending Friday, May 26th. Kicking things off for this week, we have the sophomore album My Soft Machine from London bedroom pop / R&B singer-songwriter Arlo Parks. In describing the album, Parks said that, quote, "My soft machine is the world through my eyes. It's a journal, an exploration of every emotion, character, and affecting detail within my field of vision. At its core, this album is an exercise in reaching inwards and sharing what I find at the limits of myself." My Soft Machine is available now through Transgressive Records. Also this week, we have the 8th album from Chicago rapper Lil Durk, Almost Healed. Prior to this month, fans were expecting The Voice 2.0 before Lil Durk changed the name of his record to Almost Healed just a few weeks ago. Almost Healed comes in at 21 tracks and has an interesting feature list with a mix of names including Future, 21 Savage, Juice WRLD, Morgan Wallen, and more. Almost Healed is out now through Alamo Records and Sony Music. AJJ is out with a new album titled Disposable Everything, which marks their 8th album in their near 20-year career. They've been leading figures in folk punk for the bulk of that time, but in recent years they've mellowed out a bit and really rounded out a more complex sound than their folk punk beginnings. Less brash than much of their early work, we see AJJ focusing more of their energy on simply observing and reflecting upon societal disarray and impending ecological disaster, among other things. Disposable Everything is out now via Hopeless Records. Georgia rapper Duwap Kaine continues to put out project after project with what I believe is his 7th or 8th album in doo-wop so based. Counting mixtapes, the 21-year-old already has over 20 projects under his belt and has been quietly but consistently developing his own brand of cloud rap over the past few years. California, by way of Vancouver rapper Jay Worthy, just released the new album Bigger Than the Program in collaboration with New York's rock Marciano. This underground hip-hop and jazz rap fest boasts features from some notable names in Bun B, Ab-Soul, Dash, and more. Despite this, the most interesting feature on here might actually be that of Bart Oatmeal, which is the rapping debut of former NBA player Baron Davis. Bigger Than the Program is out now via GDF Records, Marcy Enterprises, and Empire. Real Bitches Don't Die is the new album from rapper and singer-songwriter Kari Faux. Her 3rd album bounces between southern hip-hop and R&B and pulls together features from Big Crit, Devin the Dude, and more. Philly's Radiator Hospital just put out their first proper album of the 2020s with the new album Can't Make Any Promises. It's power pop, it's lo-fi indie rock, and it's out now through Salinas Records. Cleveland's Heart Attack Man is out now with their 3rd album Freak of Nature. I have yet to get to the full album, but the 3 singles ahead of its release have been some of my favorites of the year and really tap into the energy of mid-2000s power pop, pop punk, and melodic hardcore. Freak of Nature is out now with the help of Many Hats Distribution, and Heart Attack Man are currently out on their Freak of Nature across the US. Brooklyn's Water From Your Eyes just released their 1st album from Matador Records, and 6th altogether with the release of Everyone's Crushed. This is another one that has had some of my absolute favorite singles of the year, ranging from the post-punk and almost no-wave-esque True Life to the somber but beautiful and ambient-leaning 14. Everyone's Crushed is so incredibly difficult to categorize, piecing together sounds from pop music, industrial, post-punk, and so much more for an album that has to end up being a major breakout for a duo well deserving of one. I'm going to sound a bit like a broken record here and just say that the singles on this next one were fantastic too, and I am super excited to finally have the full album from Chicago post-punk band Stuck. Their 2nd and latest album, Freak Frequency, is out now via Born Yesterday Records, and the band is a breath of fresh air with their willingness to embrace their own goofiness. It comes with a political and anti-capitalist slant with its social commentary, while the music is tight, prickly, and just what you'd expect from a really strong post-punk record. But even within this gritty and sometimes bleak record, there is so much energy and fun wrapped up in the way it is all packaged and delivered. While these are not the only projects to drop this week, we are going to move on to the singles portion of the video and highlight some of those. If you want to see the full list of releases we put together, you can check that out on your screen or head over to our socials to see what else dropped this week but didn't get covered here. As the hype and the marketing campaign ramp up for the new Barbie movie, we just got the first single from the film's soundtrack with the Dua Lipa track Dance the Night. This track is both right in line with Dua Lipa's existing sound and the aesthetics of Barbie with its funk and disco-infused sound. Dominic Fike just shared the new track Ant Pile alongside an announcement for his second album, Sunburn. Sunburn is said to be an autobiographical album inspired by his childhood in Florida, and it is out July 7th via Columbia Records. Yeet just shared a new track with Young Thug titled My Wrist that features production from Pierre Bourne. My Wrist marks the second collaboration between these two after Young Thug appeared on Yeet's track Outside from his album Too Alive. While there is no album announcement just yet, the Voids have started to tease one with the release of their new single Prophecy of the Dragon. The band says that we should expect more music and tour announcements soon, but as of now, all we have is this new track that bounces back and forth between heavy metal riffs and these spacier dream pop sections. That track is out now via Cult Records. Space Orphans is the new single from Japanese singer-songwriter Ichiko Aoba. Space Orphans is a beautiful but haunting folk song that Aoba originally released as a demo last March in response to the conflict in Ukraine. The version for this official release features some new arrangements that add to the tenderness of the track and give it a new life. About the song, Aoba states the following on her Bandcamp: "To all of you who are stuck in a war you never asked for, to all of you who are all alone in a place that seems safe, to all of the orphans who carry a lingering loneliness inside of them, I hope this song reaches the child inside of you." Singer-songwriter and Big Thief's guitarist Buck Meek just shared the new track Haunted Mountain, taken from the album of the same name that was just announced. In a statement describing the track, Meek said it's, quote, about being humbled by the thing you're drawing power from, only at which point an actual fair relationship begins. Haunted Mountain will be Buck Meek's first record with the label 4AD and is set to release on August 25th. Electronic music producer and founder of the label 100% Electronica, George Clanton just shared the new track Justify Your Life. This single takes pretty heavy influence from 90s trip-hop and baggy music, and Clanton describes it as, quote, a conscious attempt at making grown-up music about self-realization. Clanton's new album, Ooh Rap Aya, was announced alongside the single and is set to release July 28th. Ska, punk, power pop, indie rock, and one of my personal favorite artists ever, Jeff Rosenstock, just released his first solo single in 2 years with the track Liked You Better. Whereas his last record, 2020's No Dream, saw a lot of themes relating to larger systemic issues, Liked You Better focuses a bit more on personal feelings within all its power pop/pop punk catchiness. London by way of Brighton's Squid had one of the best debut albums in recent memory with 2021's Bright Green Field, and we're now just 2 weeks away from the band's second album, Oh Monolith. They've just released the third single from that album with a new track titled The Blades. This one is a near 7-minute long track that goes through about 3 phases, from a glitchy and electronic intro to the jittery art punk that they're most associated with, before coming to a close with a very sparse and almost ominous outro. And according to a press release, this is singer and drummer Ollie Judge's favorite Squid song so far. Oh Monolith comes out June 9th by way of Warp Records. We are now less than a month away from Military Gun's debut album Life Under the Gun, and they just gave us the third single with the song Will Logic. This is another really strong track from the Los Angeles band that toes the line between this somewhat bruising hardcore/post-hardcore and super catchy melodic indie rock. Life Under the Gun is out June 23rd via Alternatives label and Loma Vista Recordings. The experimental rock band Swans have just shared a new track titled Los Angeles City of Death alongside the announcement of new album The Beggar. The Beggar marks the band's 16th studio album, and it is due for release on Mute Records/Young God Records on June 23rd. And that does it for this week. We didn't cover everything, so take a look at your screen or check out our socials if you want to see the full list of new releases that we put together. Otherwise, we are still polling for albums by New Order, Beach House, and Playboi Carti. We also just launched a new forum for albums by Billy Woods and Kenny Segal, K Termine, Parquet Courts, Pusha T, and Talking Heads. If any of those artists are of any interest to you, whether you love them, hate them, or anywhere in between, make sure you check out our voting forum where you can submit a score, select top tracks, and submit a review for a chance to be featured. And lastly, check out our previous video where Dev covered some news stories in music that happened over the past week or so. And thank you so much for watching.